But today's Chaburah will hopefully be brief. I mean, it's almost Purim, but I was asked to sort of fill in. There was a gap week, and I would like to sort of do some what we call maybe some mopping up or some filling in some of the blanks which we had in previous Chaburahs. Behind the door. So I thought. It's locked out. I saw a black hat. I said, who's a black hat? Yeah, black hat. They call you Black Hat, don't they? That would be the worst name you ever get called. Is that the checkbook that you have? I'd like to see it. Thank you. Oh, it's the first or second? This was the credit cards, right? So as I introduced a moment ago before Rabbi Black Shlita walked in, tell you a brief Chaburah with a blank day, and it's almost Purim, just to finish up 3 separate things which were discussed in the past. Let's just go in order. And the first one was my first Chaburah that I said about the Sparkasse and the whole question of the bank, which is owned by the majority of Jews and the majority of Goyim, minority of Jews. What is halachic status? And part of our discussion was the issue of Breira. You may remember this long discussion. And I hypothesized that some of the Gedolim who spoke about it were referring to a primitive banking system where people actually would take coins or bills and put them in. And then who gets what? Follow? A Yid puts in a coin, but that's lent out to a Goy. A Goy puts on a coin, it's lent out to a Yid. Then we can talk about the possibility of bravery. So I have an economist in my shul. The people from the shul know him. His name is Leon Metzger. You may know him as well. Very fine. Whenever I have any question, I always ask him what to do. Help me out. So I'm going to read you what he sent me. 2 excerpts. One comes from Chatbot. That's AI. AI. In the 1850s, depositors at Sparkassen, saving banks, primarily deposited coins rather than banknotes. The concept of Sparkassen was designed to encourage savings among the general population. And it was common for people to deposit their savings in the form of coins. Banknotes at that time were often associated with larger transactions and could be more easily subject to fluctuations in value, making coins a more stable and trusted form of deposit. That being said, the Sparkassen system, which originated in Germany, began to expand in the 19th century, and some branches may have also accepted paper money. Paper money, dollar bills, mark bills, whatever it was called then. Particularly as banking systems evolved and banknotes became more widely accepted. The word banknote, I think, means a dollar bill. However, coins were still the predominant form of deposit for everyday savings during the 1850s. So that's from Chatbot. Then he has something called MS Copilot. I'm not sure what that means. Same thing. In the 1850s, depositors at Sparkassen primarily deposited coins, as coins were the dominant form of currency in circulation at that time. Banknotes were also used, but were less common and often issued by private banks or regional authorities. Use of banknotes became more widespread later in the 19th century as banking systems and centralized currency issuance evolved. So my hypothesis turned out to be right, and that's why I thought that all those coolers based on Breira were only talking about this kind of a reality. It doesn't apply in today's system. I mean, you have other coolers. Those other coolers may stand or may fail. No, that's the same thing. As opposed to No. The guy went to the bank with something in his hand, whether it be a coin, whether it be a bill, and he put it down. What?
Don't people carry their money to the bank?
Rabbi say, when's the last time you carried money into a bank?
Money longer.
Only money. No one does. It's all why. It's all.
Actually, I did before. Well, I did, but not. I report every penny, but I have a jury nurse to Sorrel, and they said they said the board will transfer electronically. So they gave me cash, and we went to the bank.
But it's such a rarity. Almost all thing now is just
knows about it.
Whatever it is. Okay, Adka. That's comment number one. Okay, that was from the first Chaburah left over. From the second Chaburah left over, I never got a chance to finish what I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because digital money, then maybe saying it's because now everybody's a shutaf. I mean,
yeah, I understood Brereman because there's actually coins going in, coins going out. We have no idea who's to what. Someone called it a tliya. Maybe the Jews coin came to a goy, coin came to a Jew. Right, that's what I thought. Now the second Chaburah I said about limited liability. So I told you, explained to you why I thought it's a very serious halachic question, and it may even be a doraisa. And the question being, how can it be a doraisa when the Gemara says beferish over here, in Gittin Daf Lamed Amud Aleph? This is as follows. What's this? What's the context? Hamal v'mo zakon v'salevi v'sani. Okay, what's the din? The Gemara has as follows. Posek imam kishar hazol. As the Gemara says, Posek imam ton rabbanon. Posek imam kishar hazol. It's the last narrow line. Gittin Daf Lamed Aleph. Ema mishum ribis. Fact the Gemara pshita. Hokamash malon. Afal pisha lo posek misha posek dami. Okay. Ema mishum ribis. My timer. Why isn't there no ribis? Why isn't there no ribis? Right? Rashi. Bishar poskin be'inon achi yetzi hashar. V'kan posik bishar salvo bekach bekach afal pisha lo yotza hashar. Why is there no issue of ribis over here? Answers the Gemara. Kevan dechiles le lo yoyev le ki yislei nami ein ba mishum ribis adkan. It's that one line. That's the basis of all those who want to be matir limited liability. Because if the guy goes broke, he won't get any money. So therefore, there's no issue of ribis. That's what the poskim say. This is a marashag is based upon this, and all those who follow on that path are all based on this. Now, there's a Tosfos. Tosfos says, not so fast, not so simple. Can the mefarish afal gav lo posuk kamisha posuk dami ve'ein bo mishum ribis? You know why? I feel the posek harbe pochos mishar hazol. Right? Okay. The problem, of course, becomes, listen carefully. I have a similar case in our parak is Pardesa. No. There's, even though to you is usher. Which comes out exactly the opposite. This Gemara proves that there is an Isser, albeit an Isser d'Rabbanan, but an Isser there is. So that's why the classical Sfarim are going to say that there's an Isser d'Rabbanan, Isser d'Oraisa. He's or mutter. According to the Ratosis, it's Asim d'Rabbanan, so therefore this heta will not work. But Rashi never said Takanas Kohen. They want to say, according to Rashi, that perhaps it would be okay, because Rashi didn't mention anything about Takanas Kohen. So the Bris Yehuda talks about this in Perek Zayin, Sif Chaf Hey. And I never got a chance to finish this, and especially since I'm going to quote by Elta Zeta, I wanted to get to this point. Excuse me, Perek Zayin. Sorry, Sif Chaf Hey. My mistake. Yesh omim shemuto lahavos beribis lechever le'eron mugbal. Be'achas she'en rechush haprati shel bali amanoyos meshubad iske achever. V'yesh osrim. V'yesh omim she'af adevia osrim and the ribis d'oraisa. Some say. Get the impression there are three opinions. So the Marshag was not machlit, as we saw, but is a true miksav yad to his Talmud, is printed in Noam Tavshin Yutes. mutter. The Rivosh. There, the Akash Shabo Asfina B'Shalom Shuv Nischayev Shibur Aguf, if the boat will not sink. Mashenke Medina Didan the Olam and Al Bali Menois Shibur Aguf, and therefore he said it's okay, etc. But Minchas Yitzchak says it's wrong. And that's why he didn't print that other tshuva, because he was not sure if it was right, etc. And he writes over here the Bris Yehuda, very important. If you look at the Gemara in Gittin, Uvadiri Apnei Yoshua, the Elder Zeta, Nira de Rashi have a ribis ketzutza. Ribis ketzutza. We said until now, Rashi Utosis fight, is it mutter or is it ribis rabbanon? All of a sudden, come to ribis ketzutza. How'd that happen? So you have to look in Pnei Yeshua. That's why I brought in the Pnei Yeshua. I was descended from the Pnei Yeshua. I wanted to read what he has to say. Pirish Rashi. Today, the Bishar Poskin Beinon Sheyetzi Ashar Kan Lebin Sheyetzi Ashar Afilochi Ein Mishum Ribis. And Tosfos says, no. Ein Mishum Ribis Inim Ifnei Atzmahu. What does that mean? There are two statements. Rabbi say in the Brisa. It's important to understand. Let's go. Upose Alem Kashar Azol. The Ein Mishum Ribis. So Rashi says it's all one run-on sentence. Ein Mishum Ribis is Kashar Azol. Tosfos says no. It's two different statements. Two different statements. Post Kashar Azol, period. Right? Why? After post Misha Posek Dami, Ein Mishum Ribis. I feel the Posek Harbe Pochos Mishar Azol. But guess what? It's also with Rabbanon. You can't have it both ways. I mean, theory you could, but Tosfos says a big kula, but it's going to be us Rabbanon anyway. And Rashi, who has a small kula, is mater. That's the simple read. Watch what the Pnei Yeshua does with this. Watch. Fine. The near starting near the Yasha Shitas Rashi. The live so pogos misharazol vadayosar. Why? The hacha hamal vemos katani. How's the price to begin? Tana Abanan. Hamal vemos, as I call him Mesalev. Watch. The Hainu halvo gemura. If you Cain, imposing b'shas halvo sheyifalo b'peres b'pogos misharazol, have the ribis kitzutza. V'lo mahani hachtama de kayor b'gemara, kaven the lesle lo yoyav levechule, shazeh atam lamatzinu elalin avak ribis. Gon b'milsa desvini, shu derech mekachu memkar, she'asru chachamim, b'chol davar shu karav l'schav v'rochel lehefsed, v'chein sa b'sa, hafil derech avoin al avak ribis, shum karav l'schav. Jim came, Keva and the Lesle, Lo Yoevle, Nimsa Shukarev Lehevse, Kimo the Schar, Mishamachi Shori. The Afagav, there have also reparte. So, he Tiru Khan, Shum Takonas Chachamim, Moshe Pirshu at Tosfos B'Samach. Rashi also holds like Tosfos. It's only a special kula over here. Because we're not discussing a Shabbos Ketzutza. Why? Sharazol, it's just Sharazol. It's a question of the schar. Not such a dramatic change. Mash engen in ribis ketzutza. La v'kar of the schar talia milsa. V'lo shayach achtam the chazi b'tiyua. Period. And therefore he says it's going to be a shalav d'oraisa. Wait, but the Yeshua in Gittin was fully conversant with every daf and Ezo Neshach as well. So he's going to watch this. The Afagav Lin Mashkanta Belonach Yaisa. Kos of Rashi in Bava Metzia Dav Samach Zayin Lehedja. Should be Ayin Gimel Manal. Lehedja. To be Keren Visada the Shaykh Beitiyua Eagle the Mandiyama the Shari the Gamri Biaf the Mandiyos in a Lavak Ribis. No, why isn't it Ketzutza? Why isn't it Ketzutza? Miu Shani Hustle. Listen. The cave and the Hilveo al also Soda Vikeren, not a general obligation like over like a corporation. No, that's sort of a kerem. Imkain kimechura lo damya. As if I sold it to you. How do you know? What's the proof? Tramal v'muchzik b'soda v'yorah d'socha l'avdol l'shamra. Torah says in a few places in Perkei Neshech. That's what it says. Rashi agrees with that svara. Mechura lo damya. Mash ein kein hacha and gittin daf lamid. Plo shayach klal in the mechira. Why? Shrelova muchzik b'soda. V'aperes em dava shalo b'oliolam. The case of Cohen v'Levi. Imkein sova Rashi's out. Davi ribis kitsusa livsok b'pachos mishar hazol. Umishum hachi huchach lefarish tahi ein bo mishum ribis aposlik mishar hazol koi. It's 1-1 sentence. Inyan lo binan dios hashar. Ika milsa de so besoin am b'drabanon. I feel about halva. Hacha kaven di lesse lo yoav. I feel the chatchila shari. Can you only know on the shitas Rashi? How do you like that? And Torah is a different shita, but it's will be also with the Rabbanu. Come to the player Shua, as a priest would have told me to look here. It's a serious question of ribis tzutz l'raisa by corporations. I mean, Yakot. You can't worry about Rashi. According to the Elder Zeta, Rashi is also my Elder Zeta. I have two Elder Zetas in the picture, and they both hold. You put them together, it's going to end in ribis tzutz with the raisa. Even in corporations. By me, it's very, very hard to rely on any kula. I know that Moshe is matter it, and Marshak seems maybe matter it, and others say it's the Rabbanon. But the Bris Yehuda, who was, what do you call it, the Pesach Achron, Pesach Rishon Sheb Achron, he wrote the Bible, he is Chayshish, based on what I just said, it's Ribis Dorais, and I thought he's right. Let me read you what he says. Shenayim Besugya the Gittin Pnei Yeshua, the Rashi Ribis Ktutza, and it's a Meiri. Why? The Meiri don't shout over here and get, and I looked at it. It's Kazvini. It's like a sale. And the Ramban said the same thing. Even according to Tosfos and the Rashba, the Pnei Yeshua says, you know why it's Zvini? We just read it. Also, Shena Zocha Kazocha. And even if it's Barak Ribis, Kosh Lahat Pnei Yeshua, I'll be deal Kal Mea Gemara. And the Rivosh is Lidavak Ribis. Yeah? And the Radvas is Ribis Ktsutza. And he says, there are many, many poskim who say it's Ribis Ktsutza. Period. As Rabbi Black said, Lo olal daitam lahatim mishum hach taima and shibud aguf. No one ever heard of this before. Hundreds of years of looking for tricks. No one ever came up with this. That's herself a riot. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And yeah, the Chalkas Yaakov quoted Tzifnas Panech Kuf Pei Dalet. Thank you, Dr. Cooper gave it to me. He says it's Surah below Chomer. It's like Maral speak. That is some call it metaphysics. What does that mean? He quotes it over here. Get there a bank lo nikotava mesuyim baktava shel Surah below Chomer. What does that mean? Ani lo mevin. I don't understand. He says lo evanti. What do you mean no bal meduim? You do a chalko shel kol echad mibali hamanoras Rosh b'sifrei bank. Chase Manhattan Bank, the biggest bank in the country, it has there are owners. We can look it up somewhere in Wall Street Journal. I don't know. We can look it up.
Maybe they don't own the money. They own the right to take the money.
Maybe they own the bank. Come on, they bank, so they own the shares. Now I don't know exactly who they are, and they all have voting rights for that. Therefore, the bottom line is, it seems to me, even the sons of the Chalkas Yaakov, his own sons, came out against him. Well, B'nei Mechaber. And the Savas Paneach, you see the Rabbanon, the kids and Nimrus, the Mitchasida quotes something was there, Ein Lisvul Lahat. He also says the Rabbanon. Lulei Horos Rabbanon Manal Yisi Choshesh Leribus Doraisa Bazeh. Okay, really? Then he gets for old Nire. Come as far as Amatirim, Edakim Bechavrot Siburiot. Kagon bankim, v'chevrot bituach, insurance companies, v'chadome, sheyesh aleim bikoret tziburit. The government looks over banks and insurance companies. V'dami halvos, udmei halvos mushkoyim al shem hachevra. Al b'chevras pratiyot, kon shematzeyo. You're gonna laugh at this. Baal v'ishto of beno mekim in chevra belyo ever mikbal. Why? L'shem hakalot v'chishuvei mas achnasa v'chol ha'manuros b'yadeihem. The company is me, myself, and I. Why Baal v'ishto and of beno? Why not the Baal himself and the of himself? Well, same thing. Misupkanim im efshel lahachlo behetezeh. And here's this reductio ad absurdum. Behold, she'im no makain v'gam adam prati alul lavo lematzav shepshitat regel ulefi achok af im yulo achakach mos kayemes mitzius shelo yechayav lefro achovosov. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know. I thought PC was a kind of a computer, but I'm not a book in Russia Tavis. But in any event, this is what he says. And then he said, what does he really think about corporations? What does he say? I had to look it up, see what he said. I looked it up. It's in Pischei Choshen. Unbelievable what he says. He was a banker, he was a man of the world. And it's very opening volume. In Pischei Choshen. Perek Beis, Dini Havo, Perek Beis. He writes as follows. Afilu she'eno aksha v'mal lefroa, eino nifta liolam v'lefroa hachov. Got to pay up later. Watch. Yesh lodem mash yodua hayom musa shel poshet regel. V'hainu sheyesh adam ol chevra. Right, a person saying. Chovol she'eni yochel amud behem. Yesh barakos al piat tnoy misyamim machrizim alav poshet regel. You're bankrupt. Shenechasav nimsarim lekones nechasim. Like a rikus kol nechasav v'chol chovosav mechak and chol noshe chelim nechasav yachuzim shel klal anoshim b'yachas l'klal nechasim. L'chakam ma'agbalos sheyesh al poshet regel nikan alabo hu niftar milisham chovosav. What's the din Torah? What's the din Torah? He wants to know. You pierce the corporate veil, as some people call it. What's the din? What is the din? He says, do you apply dina de machusa dina or not? A long footnote takes up the better part of a couple of pages. Do you or do you not say over here dina de machusa dina? The Minchas Yitzchak says no. We do not apply dina de machusa in this particular situation. That's what he says. Now, that's what he says. Miu. Leave out Dina Machusa as such. I think my black once called it getting it through the back door. What the Minhag Medina is, so in effect, you're endorsing Dina Machusa. The Chora F Shaloma, Shalo called Dover Yeshlot in Minhag Medina. With a frat to Dover She'enu Matsui Kol Kach. As there are more rights in Simon Shin, Lamed Gimel, and a Nikka Minhag Medina, Dover Shchiach. Nasa harbe pa'amim. V'nire hatam te'ika tokef minigu shemistama al dasa minig misaskim. Ksha minig eno shir kol kach lo shayach tam zeh. Okay, that's true. P'kivege choshen mishvat sim yud beis if you gimel quotes Masas Moshe shebal lechol. Listen to this. Sheskimu lispashim alova v'echad eno maskim kofen os lispasher. Shoshekain minig hasochrim. Force him. Hooray, Shagam Bazel Chanachar minig. In Rebbe Kivega's time, people had no money to pay. All right? It's Hooray Kipshora Bekinyan. The Kol Shken the Gabe Chevra Be'erodom Mukbal. שכל המושג בכל ענייני הכספים של חבר'ה מסנהלים מכוח החוק ומנהג המדינה. הרי זה כאילו על דעת כן מתעסקים. You lend money to a corporation, if they're going to go broke, you're going to lose your money. ומכל מקום נראה, שיודע הנושה, שהחייב, the one who owed the money, הצליח להרים על החוק, וקיבל פשיטת הרגל. That means he's hiding things in the Swiss bank account. I'm not sure what it means to get around the law. וקיבל פשיטת הרגל illegitimately, ולמעשה נכסים, אינו חייב למחלה. I'm not moichel. But if it's a legitimate bankruptcy, the taka have no money, no Swiss bank accounts, then it works. That's what he's pasking. The Pischei Choshen. This is the person. He applies it to other situations as well for statute of limitation situations. He quotes, and others say, "Kevan shenagu kenish the tokav api minig asochrim v'cholechat sava v'kibulav minig asochrim." That's what he quotes. He quotes it. This a few pages later in Sifkotan. Ayin Beis, same sefer, same volume. That's what he quotes. That being the case, perhaps it should apply. He says, Rav Polim, Afemikra Shein Koach Medina Machusa, Kemeshanagul Kach, is a Tokef Apiminig Asochrim. V'chol Echad Sabah V'Kibel of Minig Asochrim. Says Rav Bloy over here, Bris Yehuda, Oy Bazoi, there's no ribis. I borrow money from you. If I have personal bankruptcy, you lose everything. If a legitimate case. That's as reductu ad absurdum. It wouldn't be surprised if some rabbi said that, but I don't think anyone in the world said that, to my knowledge.
You can't do this without a code.
Whatever. Ad Khan, part 2. I want to end the year with part 3. It won't take me too long. Part 3 is I lent this sefer to Rabbi Bleich Shlita about credit cards. Because we had a whole tumult about credit cards, had an argument in shul about credit cards, and I said, let me ask Chelki about credit cards. If someone wants to speak about it later on, it's fine. I'm going to read you from this beautiful sefer. I checked my halacha. It's only thanks to Rabbi Bleich that I opened it up, the second volume, to see credit cards. There's a whole discussion about this. I'll read you highlights. Page Tov, Shin, Ayin, Zayin, and Ches. The numbers continue. He doesn't start from page Aleph. He starts from page Tov Kuf. So don't get frightened by Tov Shenai and Zayin. I'll read you what he says. Here we go. Hashem, he calls it the Visa. Visa is a credit card. It's a shame quality, right? It's easy to sense like a credit card. He says Visa. Yeshnam niskos shekovim mechir ragil kshetashlum b'mzuman. $100 cash. And mishalem b'Visa kovim mechir kayoser. Like the gas station that is owned by a Jew in Flatbush. Ima hefresh shalom mechir urakt mehelos he'alut. Shamocha mafsid, but that should serve the visa. Let's say, for argument's sake, that its price is $100, but it costs him 4% to Visa. He charges you $104. Mutter lechatchila lasos kei. Put on 173. Should. Chai gavna lo nechshav k'shnei mechirim. Shu mocher chayvitz ebemeya. V'kema shayde atashim beVisa hachever menachal okam eshkolin. Mutlo ligvos zos me'akona. Chen hori habadatz lechanushim ocheres chafotzim b'mchir hakeren. V'kovel lehosef tmei ha'amola shemesham b'ashroi. Holim habadatz. Hetagamar. That's number one. Oh. Ulam. I'm charging you more than Visa charges me. Visa. Yesh chashash ribis. The choshiv katzos shnei mechirim limzuman v'limuchar. The yasser. Yeah. This is prohibited. Prohibited. Watch. Who says so? Torah's Ribbis. The Bris Yehuda wanted to say it's based upon, Hotzos Tipul B'Msiras HaTashlim B'Chevas Aviza. He doesn't understand that. Tzarachim. L'chor rak shagove estmei ha'amala shagove mimenu muter. Aber shenota yoser that's lesser. Ein shem tircha b'tipul b'tashlim shel aviza. Shken ha'kesef nichnas yashir l'cheshbon ha'mocher. Visa send right to me. How can I China? There's no tirch over here. Doesn't like the Bris Yehuda's for. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. For koshike, for often shem b'shalim la mocher v'kama tashlum l'ayda visa uv'gin kach mos la mechir. That's certainly going to be prohibited. Prohibited. V'sarchet eriska. Now, the question is,
why does it make a difference how many payments there are?
I don't know. He's trusted some kind of
I mean, a lot of these, the credit card processing fee is per transaction. Often.
per transaction.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, it's almost.
Yeah.
Oh, it's per transaction.
It's a service fee after every time.
Okay, so then there's no heter. No, there is a heter.
I don't know why paying it in installments is different than paying it at one time. If you think the processing fee is mutter, so why I do it 6 times, mutter 6 times. What's the difference?
I guess you're right. I don't know. So what did the Bris Yehuda say exactly? I have it over here. We'll open it up. Perek, tells you to look it up. Perek Chof Beis Ha'ara Yud Ches. See what he says. Mashanore shel sokim b'chama mosorim sheisal kulam kavua mechir lemechir b'amtana v'nosu hanochal avur tashim b'mezuman das aposkim dehavi k'meforish v'yoser. V'yoser. It's not allowed. Not allowed. He doesn't see any heter whatsoever. Hold on. Oh, sometimes insurance companies they add for tashlumin. You pay cash, it's less, and they call it the Megavia. It's like how would you translate in English?
Collection fee.
Collection fee. Collection fee. Often they side of the hakel. Shefsha tashlum eno ela avarat tircha. It'd be wrong, but tashlumin. No, if I pay car insurance, take simple case car insurance. So that I think I pay car insurance every 6 months. I think that's the standard, right? But if I paid for 12 months, it might cost a little less. I'm not sure if it's true or not true. But that, I mean, my insurance company is goyim, and I'm not worried about it. But if I were worried about it, it's a collection fee. That's
Like the subscription.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And he quotes the Imre Yosher. Kol she'ef shel lidl b'davar acher, after meforish is mutter. Eina pirish romas al scharam tanas los. Adrabah, it shall pirish a siba acheres. Ubefrat k'shaschumu kavua ve'eno misraba hizman hamtana. Oh, just one time collection fee. But some call it Dmei Ashroy. They call it a credit card. Depends what they call it. Oh. Okay, that's what he suggests. So
it takes him 3 days to get paid by the credit card company. Why is that not the same?
I think that's crucial. That's a good point. He says it's like
Right.
That in there, it's Israel, the credit card, the merchant gets paid twice a month or something, whatever it is.
That's it.
I would have the impression, I was
Three days.
going to ask Mordechai.
It depends on the tenant, whoever is.
I was under the impression you get paid.
I go to the gas station, I buy gas. So I buy gas right here. There's a gas station.
My friend who does credit card processing says he tries to negotiate for same day for his merchants, but that's the exception.
What do you mean negotiate same day? What does that mean?
Meaning that the credit card pays the seller that day for the.
He tries to. How does he try to do that?
He negotiates with the credit card company.
Oh, because he wants to. He's worried about ribbons.
No, because no, you want the seller wants the money that day.
Oh, the seller negotiates the credit card, not the buyer.
The buyer pays up front. The seller negotiates the credit card.
The seller negotiates. He wants to get it right away, and he doesn't always succeed.
3 days is the max.
But if that could be not because they're trying to hold the money. It just takes takes time to process these things.
Why isn't that called starting? I mean,
there is clearinghouse that does officially take time. You have to check and make sure that.
Okay.
Was the 1 to 3 days that picked up someplace was only because it was technicality.
Technicalities, right? That's what that says. There's room to be made. Hold on, not finished yet.
That's what he
Again, I don't know. I can't molded material. Those interns are looking at stuff.
All the publicly available information says it takes a few days.
Hey, why?
Well, technically, the credit card company is keeping a loan. Yeah, that's a technical.
Now I have. Let me read you from his second volume, the Ikridinim of Rav Bloy. Yudalid Sifyotes. Mashano Kayom b'mechir b'kadis ashroi credit card. Ein b'zeh mishum ribis. Aber b'mechir b'tashlumin at the cardis ashroi there could be an Easter ribis. What's this all about? No, everyone uses Visa. Yeah, you buy everything Visa. I found out from the people who were involved. This is how it works. In Eretz Yisrael, when it came out, what year did it come out? Came out Tovshin Nun Ches, 1998. It's already a generation ago. How does it work? Could be different. Could change here too. Okay. The credit cards come from banks or from companies, right? And they get it through banks, and they collect it from the lekuchos. Every store signed up. They collect a certain amalot, kvuot, or achuzim me'eskot. But ein chevrot ashraya not ashraya lo mekablot ashraya kol tafkidam hu ki ein tivuch uvamalot ele ein chash ribis ein sar ashraya gam im ha'esek moch ktsas yosef beyokel mishakona bakadas ashraya kol ha'amala shemisham lechevrat ashraya v'otzot ha'tipul b'gvia kol shenagol v'yosef b'glal hefresh hazman sheben ha'iskel leben kabolas ha'tashlum b'poel. That's what he says. So it doesn't matter if you have a Jewish credit card company. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Should be mutter. It doesn't matter if the store or the gas station is Jewish or not. It's always going to be mutter. But if you pay over a period of time, that's a different story. But I'm not going to go involved in that. It's too complicated. But this is what he says. Ad Khan. There's more to be said, but I want to get to what the English Sefer said, the American Sefer says. What this? Yud Daled. Ha'arach Hafei. Now, what does he say? Page 115, Rabbi Reisman's beautiful sefer. A business may not set two prices for the same item. One is cash and one is credit. Why? Because someone who pays a higher price is actually paying an additional fee for credit. This is ribis. A customer faced with the situation is permitted to make a cash purchase at a lower price, but may not purchase on credit. Today is a common practice of gas stations in the United States to charge a higher price when payment is made by credit card. It is prohibited to buy gas on credit at the higher price from a station which is owned by a Jew. He's from Flatbush. He knows that he must know about the Gulf station. Must be the same station. Hold on. Let's go slow. Bris Yehuda. Fine. The gas station owner does not receive payment from the credit card company until later. In the interim, he's actually the one who is extending credit to the customer. Where the gas stations charge more for credit purchases to offset the costs which they incur in connection with the processing credit card slips is permitted. Unfortunately, the markup for credit purchases often exceeds the added cost of the company. This is prohibited. Now, Adkan, we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet.
For what it's worth, as of a month ago, that's illegal.
Let's go.
For what that's worth.
I don't know.
In New York State.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. 1 second.
No, more than that. I'm saying they're not allowed to charge you more. To give more of a discount than it actually costs.
Hold on. I'm coming to that. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Leave me a minute. I wrote down the exact language of the new law. Give me a second. Hold on. Why did I think he was right, Rabbi Reisman? I also buy gas. Typically, the gas that I buy, the two prices, typically 10 cents apart. Right? 10 cents apart. So how much? 10 cents? It cost him 10 cents a gallon of gas. I couldn't believe it cost so much money. Slowly. This is the language of a New York law, which was passed in December of 2023. Quote, limiting credit card surcharges to the amount charged to the business by the credit card company. They're not permitted by a New York State law to charge more than it's costing them. Do you believe it? That's what it says. So I asked my friend Mr. Metzger, what does it he read me the whole law. What in 2023, the latest data available, credit card fees were 8.4 cents per gallon. It's a lot. Could be by now it's 10 cents. I mean, I think they charged 10 cents in 2023 also. An extra penny and a half. So Mr. Metzger told me that he thinks, sadly, he's a very, those who know, he's a sticklish of a sticklers. He thinks that I'm complicit. Why? He thinks that the eateries under the Vada Rabbanim of Riverdale, when I signed the piece of paper, are not keeping this law exactly. That they're charging more.
When my friend explained to me,
The way
my friend explained to me, does credit card processing, the loophole is instead of causing an upcharge for credit card, it's a discount for cash. And that circumvents the whole law.
Really?
That's what he don't.
No,
That's what he don't.
that's for the agreement with the credit card companies. If you give a discount for cash, it's smooth. That was not law. That was it was nomenclature.
And what about this? It wouldn't circumvent this? They're not upcharging for credit card, they're gonna make cash discount.
It does.
You can't get it.
The law said it does.
You're allowed to give a class discount.
Isn't that what the law says? If you get around the laws, it's a joke. I'm saying it sounds right, but then what this law has no teeth.
That was loophole everyone was using, he told me.
No,
It doesn't help.
We are on record on both sides. No one wants to go to jail.
The situation in interest is there's always a range of credit cards. So say the low end is 3% of the upcharge.
Right, he told me it's 2% up to 4%. 5?
I think Amex is 4 or 5%. 4%.
2 to 4.
So let's say 2 to 4.
So if you go to 4, then it's okay.
But the company's charging, they'll charge 3 because they're going to take an average. Some people are going to use the 4% credit card. Some people use.
That's interesting.
So then So if you use the lesser credit card, then they're upcharging, but they're just taking an average of all their losses.
So I need to know what my credit card charges. It depends.
Is it Homer only to use the highest? Amex is the highest.
Oy vey. That'd be terrible.
But then he's not trying to upcharge you. He's trying to, over the span of all his business, he'll cover his losses. The average will average out.
He accepts American Express.
He accepts American Express.
He doesn't accept American Express.
I mean, he's
Amex, that's the high.
That's the highest. Amex is always high.
What's the lowest?
Visa.
Visa's the lowest. I have MasterCard. Not the same as Visa, more or less.
Your market, you have to use Amex?
No.
And it's also, or is he getting the average over the course of all the years? He'll get the.
Ask a lawyer.
What's the Cadden is doing something that's also in the law now?
We had a lawyer signed off.
We have a lawyer on who's on?
He just left a minute ago.
Who? The judge was on? Oh, we need the judge for this, I think. The judge is speaking next week, correct? We'll tell it to the judge next week. Wish everybody a freilich and Purim and a good Shabbos, and thank you for listening.
More complicated also because the most of the credit card processing fees are a combination of a percentage and a flat amount per transaction.
Oh,
They
really?
charge you 2% plus 5 cents.
You're paying 2 cents. 2 separate.
Right?
So how